Our social life can be pretty rough sometimes. It feels as though we're talking to people, but they're not really receptive. They don't understand us, and we don't understand them. It's kind of like a wall in between us and them. And that's not good, obviously. There were two major reasons that held me back in being more social and having better social conversations with people. I've always struggled with social skills and speaking to people, which is a shame because it's one of the most central skills we need to have because it affects everything. And I think it's underrated as well that people don't really think too much about how important it is to be able to speak, communicate with people, and make yourself understood while being able to understand other people. And I'll say this, there could be 100 reasons that hold you back from having better conversations with people, but these are two ones that were the most prominent in my social skills career and that I have personally experienced, because I'm not going to talk about stuff that I don't know about on this channel. If that sounds good to you, you can also subscribe. The first one, I was never properly warmed up when stepping into social situations. We both know that when we go in and talk to other people, if we have talked to a lot of people before that, it's going to go a lot easier than if we just walk straight from our room, our empty, lonely room, into a situation where we have to talk to people. So with that in mind, why don't we warm up before entering those situations? Why don't we do something to bring up the heat, to get us ready to have a good conversation with someone and not let that person be our warm-up? Because that's often the case. We talk to someone, it doesn't go very well in the first one or two conversations, but it's kind of just accepted that, hey, it's going to take a while before I'm feeling it, before I can really have long, deep conversations with people. And I think that's all wrong, because those people you're warming up on, you could have had a fantastic, phenomenal friendship with those had you just been able to speak to them. And there are two ways that I like to warm up before talking to people. The first one is pretty silly, or could be silly depending on your view, and that is just drop down to the floor and do 10 push-ups. And yeah, what does that have to do with social skills? Well, I was struggling a lot with my body language, just how I felt in my body. I wasn't confident at all. So naturally, when I was about to talk to people, I would bring that body language into that conversation. What I found was that if I did a few push-ups, if I got that chest pump and the small pump in the arms, that would greatly increase my social confidence. And I think that is due to the reason that the confident stance, the confident posture is to have your shoulders back and your chest outwards. And so by getting that pump, by doing a physical activity, that you kind of force your body into a more confident posture. And obviously, don't just drop down and do them in the middle of everyone. Before you go on around the corner, before you leave your home, do 10 push-ups or whatever number of push-ups you want. Just don't get sweaty. And then you're ready to go into and start talking to people. The other way, which you can use to warm up, is to use some touch. And obviously, be careful with this. Don't do something stupid, obviously. What I'm talking about is to just give a few fist bumps, a handshake, or just put your arm around your friend. You need to get some kind of human touch, because if you don't, well, you know when you're talking to someone, you just kind of feel so stiff. You feel like you're a mechanical human, and your neck turns like this. You can see it's kind of like a mechanical movement. You're so stiff in your body. And a lot of times that can be just erased by giving a handshake, a fist bump, or whatever, just some human touch. It softens the body, and it also makes the other person a lot more receptive to your conversation. Plus, this human touch can also counter another problem that I used to have, was that I was really struggling with just getting started in conversations with other people. That two people were talking to each other, and I wanted to speak to them, but I felt so weird just walking up and starting to say some words. So what I did was just walk up, give them both a handshake, or just walk up with my arm around them, and that kind of opens up their conversation space and allows me to get in. So all of that was just the first way that I was held back in conversations. The second one may be that you simply don't vibe with the people you're around. They don't share your interests. They're not like you. And this goes a little bit deeper than you think, because we always hear that you need to always be good in conversations with anyone, anywhere, at any time. So that goes for the people that don't share your interests. Absolutely. You need to be able to be good in those conversations. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that perhaps you have never met people that truly think the way you think, that truly are, that live the way that you wish to live. If I use myself as an example, I'm so deep into this whole self-improvement space, but I've never actually met someone in real life and just talk about this. I've always felt kind of like an alien among other people. But that changed last week when I went to a meetup with other guys on self-improvement, and I got to speak and talk to them and have these interesting conversations. And I realized that, hey, all this social awkwardness, the social shyness that I felt was a lot simply due to the reason that I wasn't talking to people that I was interested in, and other people didn't find me interesting. Because I used to walk around in a room with other people and wonder, what am I gonna say? Oh, I'm not really confident, I can't really walk up to that person. But now that I met other guys who had shared a similar interest, I was simply so interested in those people and in their lives that the social shyness, this thing that held me back, was gone. It didn't exist, because I was constantly overriding it with a genuine interest in other people. And that's actually a principle in Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, to be genuinely interested in other people. And hey, that's pretty hard when all the people you meet each day just don't share your interests. So you may just not be this horrible guy at social skills. It may just be due to the fact that you haven't met people that you are like-minded people. And again, you need to always be able to be good in social situations. Don't get me wrong on that. I really don't want you to misunderstand this. What I'm saying is that when you haven't met people that are like you, you're just gonna walk around and have this hopelessness inside of you that nobody is like me and life sucks, social skills suck. But once you've met those people, have talked to them, you're gonna just look at social skills, look at conversations with a new pair of glasses. And it's gonna be easier to have conversations with people across the board, no matter if it's on the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of your interest. So those two things were the ones that held me back from having better conversations. And hey, it's still a huge struggle for me. And it's something I need to work on every single day, because if I don't, I'm gonna fall off. These two things, once I understood them, they helped me out a ton. They were able to push me through and make me a better conversationalist. And I hope that perhaps you gained some insight, perhaps you were able to understand yourself a little bit more by hearing this, because it was a huge relief for me when I met other people and when I learned these warm-up techniques, because they significantly enhanced all conversations I had from that point. If this helped you, please consider liking the video. It's gonna push the message out to other people and give them a chance to improve their social skills as well. And with that, I'm leaving you.